Okay, so very good afternoon, everyone. Today I'll be dealing with the topic that is Echoes of Oppression, Exploring the Torture in 1984 and Real World Reality. These are my personal information, points which I'll look on. So, the first of all, I'll be talking about the definition and history of torture. Torture's historical trajectory. If we look, there's an I took this information from this articles from Thomas and all. So they tried to tell that torture was prevalent in ancient medieval and early modern society, declined in the 18th and 19th century in the West, increased in Europe during 20th century due to fascist and communist government, and later also it was decreased. Motives and methods. It was the main motive of this was to control over something, spreading terrors and pushing enemies of the state, gathering information, and the method they used. The method they use is to to collect the information or to just like we can say to power or to rule upon someone. The ritualistic aspects of torture in establishing community boundaries and social hierarchies. This article argues that the use of torture follows the same pattern in contemporary time as it has in earlier historical periods. So the torture methods in 1984 were in the novel 1984, it depicts that the dystopian society ruled by a totalitarian regime led by Big Brother, which shocked readers upon its publications in 1949. So Orwell's concepts such as newspicking, doublethink, and the thought police have become common reference to oppressive government tactics. Scholars debate the distinctions between authoritarians and totalitarian regimes, with totalitarianism characterized by extreme control over citizens' lives. This was from Gene Stern article. Real world example of torture. So I have taken this from the Emmy and Wington's Lecopino article, which talk about the torture on the Punjab public. It was the one who used to support the they were used to support Khalistan or something. I just forgot it. So the torture in Punjab, India, based on a survey conducted in 1979, where the 192 peoples were fined during the survey, which were being tortured as they were supporting the other party other than the Punjab. Yes, the Sikh militants. Yes, 192 Sikh militants were found. And the reason for the torture was they were tortured in the way including methods such as leg stretching, suspension, roller torture, electric shocks, and other methods. Yes, and the reason was, as I mentioned, that they were supporting the other physical and psychological effects. Yes, what they does is they used to get tortured from the authorities, and the way they torture is they don't show that they were even being tortured. We saw in the novel 1984 that Smith, the way after he was tortured and he was portrayed outside the society with no marks, as a normal human. So in this way, here also they portray importance of documentation. Yes, the amount of number of victims being tortured is very important for the documentation for government. Yes, so another, I have taken an example of Big Brother and Big Boss. Big Brother was an Australian show where Big Brother was an Australian show where the contestants same as the Big Boss, but there was there's difference a bit. So let's discuss. Big Brother is an Big Brother Australia, also known simply as Big Brother, is an Australian reality show based on the international Big Brother format created by John DeMol. So Australian Big Brother features common people as contestant, whereas Indian Big Boss features yesteryear's celebrities, starlets, wannabes, and those who haven't made it in big Bollywood, along with some foreign contestants. So yes, these are the differences. We can see that Big Brother used to allow the people which are common people, whereas Indian show are for realities, and Australian Big Brother contestants are relatively unknown. Fame, yes, is not a primary motive, and contestants often have inflated perceptions of their fame and accomplishments. Disable levels of drama. Yes, the level of drama here. The difference is these are the shows which used to create a drama, which are made to for the public entertainments and all. But in this also they are provided. If we have seen that there, we can see that they are provided tasks to do. That the tasks are really torturable. Like they have to do like we don't have to eat for a day, and they have to like. So if we'll see, then we'll get to know that there are such torturable tasks. Torture inflicts pain and terror on individuals, leaving them defenseless and experiencing a living death. Torture provides. So yes, the immortality of torture is evident as it violates fundamental human rights and subjects individuals to unbearable suffering. Even in slave societies like antebellum America, there were legal limits on torture, although often disaggregated. And contemporary international law unequivocally prohibits torture in all circumstances. And yes, this I've cited from Tukri Robert C. an article. And there is also a study conducted by Miroslav Ninix and Jennifer Romans from Loyola Marymount University explores public perception of torture in the context of US global war on terrors. They find that consequentialist argument for and against torture dominant public opinion. So psychological aspect, if we see, then current approaches like focusing on PTSD, that is post-traumatic stress disorder, stress disorder, and this focuses on the complex effect that is creates a complex trauma upon the we can say victims. Refugee experience, this is given to the victims. Limitations of PTSD, that is I mentioned full form. Their limitations are like they can't be like they have some limitations which they can't cross, like they can't be too much traumatic when it comes to like physical violence. Adaptive systems, say, and proposed models. So yes, conclusion. Orwell's depicts the torture in 1984 transcends fiction, serving as a chilling reminder of the nightmarish realities that persists around the world by examining the psychological and physical trauma inflicted on Whitson's me. We gain a deeper understanding of the devastating human cost of oppression. The real world examples explored solidify this connection, demonstrating the enduring presence of torture and its enduring potential to break down individuals and societies. As Orwell suggests, the fight against torture is a fight for basic human rights and the preservation of truth. By acknowledging its echoes in our world, we can strive towards a future where such brutality becomes a relic of the past. So, these are my references. Thank you. Now, if anyone has any questions, please.
My question is that what are the psychological effects of torture on both the victim and the perpetrators, as depicted in 1984 and observed in real world cases.
Okay. So as I mentioned that the way Smith was tortured was in the room that was room 101, and here when we look at the tortures, like as I mentioned, the example of one of the example, that is Punjab. In Punjab, how Sikhs were as they were supporting, like they were not like you can say were towards their people, but they were against the party, so they were being tortured. And yes, so there we can see the difference. Yes, next.
Unnati, my question is, in what ways does the portrayal of torture in 1984 reflect the dehumanization of individuals and the erosion of personal autonomy?
Yes, so when it comes to reflection upon the dehumanization and individual, we can say that the like the pressure of we can say the parties, or we can say there's always a fear, like if we'll go against, if we'll speak something against the party or someone, then we'll always be like we'll always be in the threat that what will be the like reply in a harsh, or we can say afraid in a way to speak up against something. And the erosion of personal anatomy, yes, obviously if we think something and we want to do, then there's always a minor fear, we can say, that we face. So yes, this was my side. Thank you.